Okay, so welcome sa ating online session ng ating Algebra. For today, we'll be discussing clock-related problems. So, important principles na dapat alam natin so that we can cope up in analyzing clock-related problems. So, first principle, for every x minute movement of the minute hand, the hour hand moves by x over 12 minutes. So basically, yung clock natin, okay, so let's say we have a clock here. So basically, yung ating clock, so every movement dito or every distances natin, this is somehow measured in terms of minutes. Okay, so let's say for the first principle, for every x minute movement of the minute hand, so yung mas mahaba, so the longer tip, so yung minute hand natin, for every x movement or let's say for every minute na magmo-move si minute hand, simultaneously or kasabay niya, magmo-move din si hour hand. So, by an x over 12 minute. So, let's say for example, si minute hand ay nag-move ng 1 minute, si hour hand sabay magmo-move ng 1 over 12 minute distance. Let's say nag-move siya for 3 minutes, so si hour hand will move for 3 over 12 minute. So let's say yung minute hand natin, so from this position, so let's say yung ating minute hand moves for a complete revolution. So di ba yung complete revolution natin, so yung sa ating clock, it is equivalent, yung one complete revolution natin is equivalent to 60 minutes. So yung complete revolution ni minute hand, so that pertains to 60 minute distance na cover ni minute hand, magmo-move si hour hand by 60 over 12 minutes. And that 60 over 12, that is equivalent to 5 minutes. So, di ba, after 5 minutes, kung naka-point siya is at the beginning, kung mula simula, naka-point yung ating hour hand sa 2 o'clock mark. So, after 60 minutes, move siya ng 5 minutes. So, 5 minutes from the 2 o'clock mark, we will arrive with the 3 o'clock mark because the distance between these two is 5 minutes. So, after one complete revolution, since it is 60 minutes for the minute hand, the hour hand will move by 60 divided by 12 minutes. So, that is simply, the hour hand will simply move by 5 minutes. So, after 5 minutes, 5-minute movement yung distance between these two. So, gagalaw na yung hour hand, punta na siya sa 3 o'clock mark. So, which is equivalent. So, from 2 o'clock after 60 minutes, we will surely be at 3 o'clock mark. So, ganon natin pwedeng tandaan yung first principle, which is one of the main principles of these clock-related problems. So, it is always important to note this, that for every x minute movement, so again, yung movement natin dito is in terms of minutes. So, the minute hand, the hour hand will move by x over 12 minutes. So, laging sabay yun. Sabay silang mag-move. Second principle. So, second principle natin, one space in the clock is equivalent to 5 minutes. So, as I've said a while ago, yung pagitan natin between the 2 o'clock mark and the 3 o'clock mark is 5 minutes. Between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock is 5 minutes. So, every space dito sa mga ito, that is equivalent to 5 minutes. So, yun naman ay familiar tayo since elementary. So, tinuturo na yun sa atin sa clock. So, this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. Okay, until we reach the 12 o'clock mark. So, the second principle is quite general. Then, we have the relationship between distances in minutes and its equivalent degrees. Okay, so it's equivalent in degree units. So, 1 minute in the clock is equivalent to 6 degree arc. So, how is that possible? So, we all know that one complete revolution is equal to 360 degrees. And pagdating sa clock, since yung ating measurement is measured in minutes, so we discussed that that is complete 60 minutes. So 360 degrees is to 60 minutes. So that is simply 6 degrees per minute. So let's say you want to convert units from minutes papuntang degrees. So that is simply 6 degree per minute. So these principles are important, okay, in the analysis of clock-related problems. Okay, so let's proceed. Summarize lang natin yan dyan. Then let's try the following principles dito na sa problems. So on most cases, problems in clocks or these clock related problems, so on most cases, ito yung mga common questions na lumalabas. So most of the time, we are tasked to find at what time will the hands of the clock be displaced by a certain angle, or simply speaking, anong oras magkakaroon ng ganitong angle sa pagitan ng dalawang clock. So sometimes we are using specific angles. Let's say, at what time after 3 o'clock will the hands of the clock be displaced? So yung pagitan nilang dalawa ay 15 degrees or 30 degrees or 45, or sometimes like the problems presented here, so specific. So let's say for it to be together for the first time. So kung they are together for the first time, so it is simply noting na uh, yung ating clock ay magkapatong, or the hands of the clock are coinciding with each other. So magkapatong sila, hence the angle between them will be 0. So yun yung isa. Then let's say for the letter B, opposite with each other. So for it to be opposite, so kailangan the clock should be displaced by 180 degrees. For perpendicular, so dapat they are displaced by 90 degrees. So, yun yung mga common questions, okay, pertaining to clock-related problems. So, that's why it is important na alam natin yung mga conversion from minutes, so yung unit natin sa clock mismo, converting it to degree units. Para pag pinahanap sa atin yung mga angle in between or yung mismong oras for that specific angle na ma-displace sa pagitan ng dalawa nating hands of the clock, ay alam natin kung paano kukuhanin yung relationship using the 6 degree per minute conversion and the principle between the movement of the minute hand and the hour hand. So before we answer this problem, so let's derive some formulas, or let's have some general solution or general techniques for this type of problems. Balik lang natin dito sa ating clock. So let's say we have this clock. So okay, so let's have the first example. So okay, so let's say we have this problem. So any this is applicable for any time. So I just use the 2 o'clock as our reference. Okay, so it can be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So for the sake of derivation, para lang medyo nakakawang silang dalawa, I will use 2 o'clock. So let's say the problem states that in how many minutes after, let's say, 2 o'clock will the hands of the clock be displaced by 30 degrees, by 45 degrees, and so on. So let's say from the 2 o'clock, okay, so let's say after some time, so let's say after certain minutes, the hand of the clock, yung minute hand natin, let's say napunta siya dito. Say, nandito lang si minute hand. So, after some time. So here is your minute hand. So after some time. So meaning to say, from its reference point or its starting point, which is the 12 o'clock mark, so the distance mula 12 o'clock mark hanggang dito sa kanyang final position. So since the units of the clock is in minutes, so let's say we let it as x. Kasi minute hand naman siya. So again, yung movement natin is in terms of minutes. So let's say from 12 o'clock, the minute hand move by x minutes. So using principle number 1, correspondingly, kung nag-move si minute hand by x minutes, surely si our hand will move by x over 12 minutes. So kasabay niyang nag-move. So mula dito, nag-move din siya. Let's say bumaba siya ng konti. Okay? So, take note of the starting point of the R hand. So, let's say nandyan yung R hand. So, after X minutes, the R hand will also move by X over 12. Okay? So, after X minutes, from 2 o'clock, so kung ano mang minuto yon, the R hand will surely move by X over 12 minutes. So, gagalaw din siya kasabay. Therefore, makakapag-form tayo, may makikita tayong angle in between the minute hand and the hour hand. So, ito yung angle na to. So, let's save it as angle theta. Okay? So, again, yung x natin ay itong gitna. Yan. Yan ko lang. So, nandito yung ating x. So, referring to the x minute. Then, ito yung ating theta. Ibig sabihin, from this point up to this point, okay, itong part na to, this is simply theta. Okay, so let's say this is theta in minutes. Okay, so let's have the angle between them. Ang unit muna natin gamitin ay in terms of minutes. So, from this point up to this point, so in-extend ko lang yan, that is simply theta in minutes. So, from this point up to this point, that is the x over 12. And mula dito, hanggang dito, so that is our x minutes. So, x minute, which is the movement of the minute hand. Then this is the x over 12 minute, which is the movement of the hour hand. And yung distance between the hour hand and the minute hand will be theta. Okay? So, with that, we need to know what is the measurement from this point up to the 2 o'clock mark. Okay? So, syempre, kailangan yung units niyan ay in terms of minutes. So, since this is the 2 o'clock mark and we said a while ago using principle number 2 that every space between the markers ng ating clock is equivalent to 5 minutes. So, this first space is 5 minutes, another space is 5 minutes. So, all in all, this is simply 10 minutes. So, from this point of the 2 o'clock mark, that is 10 minutes. So, to make it more general, I will use 5 times h. Okay? Where h is yung ating marker. Okay? So, yung initial position ng ating R hand. So, para lang maging general. Okay? So, kahit hindi siya sa 2 o'clock, sa 1 o'clock man yan, sa 3 o'clock, okay lang yon. So, simply speaking, yung ating 5h, so that is 5 multiplied by h. So, alin yung h? That is the marker kung saan nakaturo yung ating R hand initially. So, in this case, kung yan ay 2 o'clock, so that is 5 times 2, which is 10. So, take note, the unit of 5h here is in minutes. So, lahat na ng unit natin ay naka-minute. So, from this point up to this point, that is 5 times h minutes. So, ano ba yung 5 times h? So, 5, nakatapat siya sa 2, so that is 5 times 2. So, that is simply 10 minutes. So, again, I am using 5h para kung, let's say, yung reference mo is 1 o'clock, I did that is 5 times 1 o'clock. So, that is simply 5 minutes. So, 5 times 2 o'clock, so that is 10 minutes. 3 o'clock, that is 15 minutes, and so on. Okay? So, let's summarize this figure. So, from this point, so from the 12 o'clock mark up to the o'clock mark, kung saan nakaturo yung ating R hand, that is 5H. Then, from the o'clock mark hanggang sa second position ng ating R hand after some time, so that is X over 12. Then, mula dito sa R hand, papunta sa new position ni minute hand, that is simply theta. And all in all, that is also equivalent to x minutes. So with that, we can form this equation. We can say that if from this point up to this point, so yung buong to is equal to x minutes. Then, from this point to this point is 5h. So, pwede nating sabihin that yung x minute is equal to 5h plus x over 12 plus theta in minutes. So, that is 5h plus x over 12 plus theta in minutes. Okay? So, again, from this point to this point, yung buong yon ay x minutes. So, from this point up to the o'clock mark, that is 5h. So, yung h, again, is the o'clock mark. So, kung ano yung o'clock natin na reference. Let's say 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or any time. Then, this is the x over 12. The movement of the R hand. Nakasabay, nung nag-move yung minute hand natin by x, yung R hand natin ay nag-move ng x over 12. So, from this point to this point is 5h. Then, from this point to this point is x over 12. Then, the distance between the R hand and the minute hand, so in-extend lang natin, this arc is equivalent to the theta here. So, yung unit na gamitin muna natin is in terms of minutes. So, therefore, we will arrive with this equation that x minute is equal to 5h plus x over 12 plus theta in minutes. Then, so, since on most cases, kailangan ma-equate natin doon sa equivalent angle, so transpose lang natin. So, we can say that theta in minutes is equal to x, transpose ko lang yon, minus x over 12 minus 5h. Therefore, our theta in minutes is equal to 11 over 12. So, x minus x over 12 is 11 over 12x minus 5h. Okay? So, yun yung magiging equation natin. So, pwede yan na yung formula natin. So, where theta is the angle in between the minute hand and the hour hand. So, that will surely be 11 over 12 multiplied by x, where x is after how many minutes. So, yan yon. Minus 5h. Yung h again natin is the o'clock mark, which is our reference. Okay? So, we arrive with this equation. So, you may use this one pag ang hinahanap ay what will be the angle. Okay? So, after, let's say, what will be the angle between the minute hand and the hour hand after 20 minutes. So, yan yung ating gagamitin. You can substitute this one. Or, so, dalhin natin sa actual scenario, which is on most cases, pagdating sa ating mathematical problems, we are tasked to find not the angle, but the time itself. So, with that, kailangan ang isolve natin dito is yung x. So, solving for x here. So, when we solve for x, so, transpose lang natin. So, magiging 11 over 12x is equal to 5h plus theta in minutes. Okay? So, we can solve for the value of x here. So yung x natin is 12 over 11 multiplied by 5h plus theta in minutes. Okay? So, pwedeng ganan. So, yung x natin is x in minutes. Okay? So, you may use these formulas. So, however, on most cases din, yung let's say pinahanap sa atin yung exact time kung ano yung uh, at what specific time or after how many minutes will the hands of the clock be displaced by a certain angle. Yung angle doon, on most cases, is in terms of degrees. So, what will be our formula kung ang angle natin ay naka-degrees? So, kuhanin natin from this one. Okay? So, from this theta in minutes. Okay? So, what will happen if our angle is in degrees? So, yung theta in minutes natin, so that is equal to 11 over 12x minus 5h. So, take note that the units of this, so this is in minute, this one is in minute, so this one is in minute. So, let's convert. So, convert natin yan. So using the factor, 6 degrees per minute. Okay, so let's have 6 degrees per minute. So using this conversion of 6 degrees per minute, so yung theta in minute natin magiging theta na in degrees. So we will have theta in degrees. So hindi ko na ilalagay yung 6 degree na multiplier kasi yung theta natin dito ay converted na into degrees. So maka-cancel out. So, magiging 11 over 2x. So, 11 over 2 degree. Where x natin is still, unit niyan ay naka-minute. So, minus 5 times 6. So, that is 30h. So, with that, yung unit na ng ating theta is now in degrees. But still, yung unit ng ating x dito, naka-minute pa rin yan. So, simplify lang natin. Our theta in degrees, kung gusto natin ay naka-degrees siya, so that is equal to 5.5 multiplied by x minus 30h. Okay? So, you can use this formula. So, let's say yung theta natin ay naka-degrees, pwedeng yaan. And let's derive. So, from this equation, madederive na natin si x. So, x or yung ating x minutes. So, yung movement ng ating minute hand. So, x natin dito is simply 30h plus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, transpose lang natin. So, magiging 30h positive, then plus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, with that, meron na tayong formula na pwede natin gamitin. So, you may omit using this one. So, kahit hindi mo na yan gamitin, itong part na to. Okay? So, kahit wag na to. So, because on most cases naman, yung ating angle, yung ating theta is in degrees. So, para hindi naman ito, use the formula that is already converted. Okay? So, it's either this formula ang gagamitin natin or this formula. So, maalin dyan. So, take note lang na pag ginamit natin itong formulang ito, theta natin in minute or yung again yung pagitan ng minute hand and hour hand will be unit niya ay in terms of minutes pa. Whereas pag binigyan tayo ng unit naman na naka-degrees na, use this formula so that we can find the unit of the movement of the minute hand, which is already in minutes. So, yun yung ating x. Which happens to be, on most problems, ito yung ating ginagamit. So, problem involving yung at what time will the hands of the clock be? So, kung ano mang angle yon, use this formula. Okay? So, provided that at that specific time, the minute hand will be ahead the hour hand. Ibig sabihin, so pwede mo lang gamitin itong formulang ito, provided that after some time, yung minute hand natin will lead or will be ahead sa ating hour hand. So sa madalit sabi, nasa unahan si minute hand compared kay hour hand. Else, hindi mo siya pwedeng gamitin. Pag nagkabaliktad, let's say nauna si hour hand kay minute hand after some time, so we'll be deriving another formula para sa second case naman. So yung first case natin, after some time, nauna si minute hand kay hour hand, which is, on most cases, ganun yung nangyayari. But, there is some instances na nauuna si hour hand kay minute hand. So, when that happens, what will be our formula? So, we'll be deriving and we'll try to make a general technique para sa kanilang dalawa. Okay? So, gawa tayo ng isa pang clock. Okay, so we have gawa tayo ng isa pa. So, okay, so again, let's use the 2 o'clock mark as our reference for the sake of derivation. Para lang again, malaki-laki ulit yung pagitan nilang dalawa. So here is your 2 o'clock mark. And again, after some time, let's say, after some time, so gumalaw lang ng kaunti yung ating minute hand. Okay? Kaunti lang. Say, nandito pa siya. So, if the minute hand moves by x, syempre, yung hour hand natin will surely move by x over 12. So, that is the general principle. So, ito yung ating hour hand. So, from this point, the hour hand will move by x over 12. And notice, in this situation, nasa unahan si hour hand kay minute hand. So, pag nauna siya, syempre, iba yung formula and relationship na makukuha natin. Okay? So, i-plot lang ulit natin. So, from this point to this point, yan yung ating minute hand. Then, let's say, mula dito, sa pwesto ni minute hand, and this is the position of our hour hand. Okay? So, yung pagitan nilang dalawa, that is our theta. The displacement between the minute hand and the hour hand. So, sabihin ko lang dito, here is our theta. Okay, so again, from this point to this point, we have it as x. Then, from this point hanggang dito, itong buong to, that is our theta. And from this point up to this point, yun yung ating x over 12. And yung original position natin, so ibig sabihin, mula dito sa 2 o'clock mark, mula dito sa 12 o'clock mark, itong part na ito, that is our 5h. Okay? Wala pala. Okay? So again, dito natin. So from this point, so yung unang position ni minute hand, hanggang dito sa second position niya, we have it as x movement or x minute. Then, from this point dito sa original position niya, ng our hand going sa another position, so that is equivalent to x over 12. Then, yung theta natin, pagitan ni minute hand and the hour hand. So, ito yon, tsaka ito. So, itong part na ito. So, from this point to this point. So, simply, from this point, going this point. So, itong malaking to. So, that is our theta. Then, we have our 5h, yung initial position ng ating hour hand. So, initial position niya from this point hanggang doon sa o'clock mark. So, this is your 5h. And let's derive this equation. So, let's say from this point hanggang dito sa dulo. So, we have it as x. So, from this point to this point, that is x. Then, what is the measurement from this point up to this point? So, itong part na ito, itong point na ito, diba ito yun, hanggang dito. So, this part is simply theta. So, we can have it as x plus theta. So, our theta here is in minutes. So, again, from this point to this point is x. Then, from this point, going to the last point, itong malaking to, that is simply theta. So, equal yan kay, so, from this point hanggang dito, ito yon, that is simply 5h. So, we have it as 5h. Then, yung kaputol niya, from this point hanggang doon din sa kabilang dulo, that is x over 12. So, that is 5h plus x over 12. Okay? So, again, pakita natin. From this point to this point, that is x. From this point hanggang dito sa baba, that is our theta. Then, from this point, going to the o'clock mark, so that is your 5h. Then, doon sa dulo ni o'clock hanggang sa another position ni our hand, so that is x over 12. So, we will arrive with this equation. That x plus theta in minutes is equal to 5h plus x over 12. So, let's solve for theta in minutes here. So, theta in minutes is equal to, so may iwan si 5h plus x over 12 minus x. Therefore, we will have this formula. Theta in minutes is equal to 5h minus x over 12 minus x is x over 11x over 12. Okay? So, this will be our formula. So, ito yung kanina. So, now, ito naman. So, notice, nagkabaliktad. Kanina, nung nasa unahan, si minute hand, compared kay hour hand, we have the formula, theta in minutes is equal to 11 over 12x. So, yung formula natin, when the minute hand is ahead of the hour hand, we have the formula, theta in minutes is equal to x over 11 over 12x minus 5h. Then, pag naman ang nauna ay si hour hand, kay minute hand, so we have the theta in minute hand is equal to theta in minutes rather is equal to 5h minus 11 over 12x. So, ayusin ko lang dito. So, theta in minutes is equal to 5h minus 11 over 12x. So, maalin dyan sa dalawang yan ang formula ang ating gagamitin. Let's say we want to find the angle in theta. The angle in minutes. So, given the displacement or the movement of the minute hand, which is x. So, pag binigay yun sa atin and the starting position or yung ating o'clock mark, which will be our h, we can solve for the equivalent angle in minutes. Then, convert na lang natin using the 6 degree per minute conversion. So, notice, magkakabaliktad. So, pwedeng 11 over 12x. So, pwedeng 11 over 12x minus 5h or 5h minus 11 over 12x, whichever comes first. Pag nauna si minute hand, 11 over 12 yung nasa unahan, o yung may x. Pag nauna si R hand, yung may x ay nasa likod. So sa madalit sabi, for the technique itself, so para lang madaling matandaan, so titingnan natin sa clock kung sinong mauuna. Pag nasa unahan, yung minute hand, nasa unahan si 11 over 12x. Pag nasa hulihan, yung minute hand, nasa hulihan din si 11 over 12x. Okay? So, let's say, kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, from this equation, so, kuhanin natin yon, that is theta. So, from this equation, that is theta in minutes, is equal to 5h minus 11 over 12x. So, from this equation, kuhanin natin yung what will be the formula kung yung ating theta ay naka-convert in degrees. So, i-convert natin to in degrees using the conversion 6 degree per minute. So, i-multiply lang natin yan. So, yung theta natin dito will be theta in degrees na. Then, 5 times 6, that is 30h minus 5.5 or 11 over 2x. Okay? So, you can use this formula. Let's say, converted naman sa degrees yung ating unit. So, pwede mong gamitin din yan. Okay? And from this equation, we can solve for x. So, pag pinahanap sa atin yung at what specific time, so yung ating x is simply, transpose lang yon, that will be 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, this will be our formula for the case na mauuna si R hand. So, nung nauna si minute hand, our formula is x is equal to 30h plus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. Whereas, pag nauna naman si R hand, our x in degrees is equal to 30h minus theta in degrees over 5.5. Pag nasa unahan, si minute hand plus. Pag nasa ulihan, si minute hand minus. Okay? So, that is very important. Okay? So, with that, syempre, kailangan, pag mag-figure tayo, malinaw sa atin kung sino ba yung mauuna. So, mauuna ba si minute hand? Mauuna ba si R hand? So, pwede nating sabihin na dapat tama yung ating sketch. So, pag nagkamali ka ng sketch, may tendency na mali yung makukuha mong sagot. Or mali yung time na makukuha natin. That might happen. Okay? So, pero, these equations na dinerive natin, if we use this properly, these equations will be foolproof. Ibig sabihin, laging tatama. Okay? So, anong principle yung pwede nating i-apply para laging tatama yung ating sagot, even without sketching. Okay? So, especially dito sa mga ganitong problem, yung problems involving clock and angles, so yung relationship between the hands of the clock and yung angles between them. So, kung ganun lang din naman yung mga tinatanong lang sa atin, so para hindi tayo mahirapan to identify if yung ating gagamitin is nauna ba si minute hand, nauna ba si hour hand. So, even without sketching, we can get the right answer. Okay? By simply using logic. Okay? So, logically speaking, syempre, we do not have negative values of minutes. So, wala naman tayong negative 5 minutes, negative 10 minutes, negative. So, kung ano mang minutes yon, wala tayong negative minutes. So, we should note that at all times, x should be positive. So, dapat positive lagi yung masosolve natin na x. Okay? So, at all times. So, dapat positive yung masosolve natin. So, ibig sabihin, even without sketching, as long as mag-positive yung lumabas sa ating sagot na x, dapat tatama tayo lagi. So, with that, it is important to start your solution using this equation first. Okay, so kung ganong mga problem, itong how many times after the 3 o'clock mark will the hands of the clock be? So together for the first time, opposite each other, perpendicular. So to solve this type of problem, I recommend na laging dito muna tayo magsisimula sa may minus. Why? Kasi if we know that x should always be positive, this equation will always, we will always obtain positive values kasi plus yan. So, laging positive yung lalabas dyan. So, pwede tayong magkaroon ng false belief. Pwedeng mali yung ating intindi na since x should always be positive, pag ito yung ginamit mo, syempre, laging positive yung lalabas dyan. So, instead, always start your solution with this equation, yung minus. So, ibig sabihin, with the assumption that the hour hand will lead the minute hand or the hour hand will be ahead sa ating minute hand. So, yun yung ating una agad i-assume sa ating figure. So, even without sketching, masosolve natin to by simply using this equation. So, paano natin i-analyze? So, substituting in this equation, 30h minus theta in degrees, may tendency na mag-negative to because this one is subtraction. So, mag-negative to when the value of 30h is less than the angles in degrees. So, pag mas mababa itong si 30h, so surely, magne-negative to. So, with that, pwede natin itong gamitin as a troubleshooting factor. So, start with this equation. Simulan mo sa 30h minus theta in degree divided by 5.5. So, when you use this equation, minus ka muna. So, pag ang lumabas ay negative, automatic, the solution should be the other way around, itong kabila. Pag ang lumabas dito ay positive, automatic, ito na yon. Okay? So, because at all times, this will be the initial condition. So, laging ito yung magsisimula or ini-state sa problem that this is the first time. Okay? So, kagaya dyan sa problem natin, together for the first time. So, using this equation, dito natin makukuha yung mga first times. Okay? Since this will always be less than kumpara dito sa kabila. Kasi ito ay minus, ito ay plus. So, syempre, yung magiging values na itong dalawa, mas mataas itong first equation compared kay second equation. So, with that, we will always get the first one. Okay? Yung first time. So, lagi nating makukuha using this equation. So, again, as a recommendation para sa problems na ito, this is already the derived formula for this type of problem. So, this x is equal to 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5, where h again is the o'clock mark, theta in degrees, so yung angle in between should be in degrees, divided by 5.5. And yung x na makukuha natin, that is already in minutes. Or this one, yung 30h plus theta in degree divided by 5.5. Okay? So, these two are already derived formulas. So, ang tanong na lang, kailan natin gagamitin si equation 1 or si equation 2. And again, as the recommendation, always start your solution with this second equation. Para rest assured na yung makukuha natin ay yung mga first times. Okay? So, we'll be using these formulas to solve the following problems, again, even without sketching. Labas lang natin si problem. So, in how many minutes after 3 o'clock p.m. will the hands of the clock be together for the first time? Letter B, opposite each other. Letter C, perpendicular to each other. So, solve natin. So, yung number 1. So, again, using the formula that we have. So, in how many minutes after 3 o'clock will the hands of the clock be together for the first time? So, for the problem number 1, again, without sketching, makukuha natin to. So, mamimili lang tayo dun sa equation natin kanina. So, let's start our equation. So, using the formula, x is equal to, start with this, 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, pag ang lumabas dito is negative, So, ibig sabihin, we'll be using yung kabila, yung second equation, which should be plus. Pag lumabas dito is positive, that will be the answer. Okay? Or, depending sa ating problem. Okay? So, let's get the given. So, in how many minutes after 3 o'clock? So, that is 3 o'clock. So, yung H natin, automatic 3. 3 o'clock na yon. So, together for the first time. So, since that is together for the first time, so together, so when that is together, ibig sabihin, yung theta natin in degrees is simply 0 degree or magkapatong sila or they are coinciding. So, si R hand and si minute hand. So, yung ibig sabihin, yung angle between them is 0 degree. So, with that, we have x is equal to 30h. So, 30 times 3 minus theta in degree, that is 0. Divide lang natin ang 5.5. So, we can solve for x here. Kuha lang tayo ng calcu. So, that is 30 times 3, then minus 0. Divide lang natin ang 5.5. Well, so pag lumabas dito ay positive, syempre positive yan, minus lang natin ang 0. So, we have 16.363636. So, x natin is 16.3636 minutes. Okay? So, since ang pinapahanap sa atin is in how many minutes, so therefore, yung sagot natin is after 16.3636 minutes. So, this will be our answer. So, syempre, when we use the other formula, 30h plus theta in degree, since we'll be making this plus 0, so yan pa din yung lalabas. So, okay, yung nga sinabi ko, any of the two, pwede. Depende lang kung yung isa ay positive or kung yung isa ay negative. Okay? So, kailangan basahin maigi yung problem. So, sabi naman sa problem, in how many minutes? So, that is after exactly 16.3636 minutes. So, surely, yung minute hand and hour hand natin ay magkapatong. So, let's say for example, ibahin natin ng konti yung tanong. Let's say, ang pinahanap ay, ang sinabi ay, at what time? Okay? Let's say, after 3 o'clock p.m. So, yun yung sinabi. So, let's say, ang sinabi sa problem is, at what time after 3 o'clock p.m. So, we are looking for the specific time. So, dapat specific time yung ating kuhain. So, on most cases, ganito yung magiging sagot. Gagawin 3, so 16.3636 p.m. So, yan. So, 3 and 16.3636 p.m. Sometimes, tama siya kung siya ay nasa given, pero you should inspect because we do not have 0.3636 sa ating specific time. Take note na yung ating mga times, yung ating oras, ang ating format is hours, then we have minutes, then seconds. So, seldom naman na ginagamit, bihira lang, gamitin yung millisecond. So, yan yung ating time format. So, naka-hour, minute, and seconds. Dapat maisulat natin yan sa ganang format. So, again, yung iba, ganito yung gagawin. Gagawin siyang 3 and 16. Then, yung decimal point, gagawin seconds. Ganyan, 36 seconds. So, PM. Well, this is wrong. Okay? Because yung 16.3636 is minutes. So, kailangan i-convert natin siya specific. Okay? So, para lang mas malinaw, pakita natin yung fractional form niyan. So, fractional form natin. Yan. So, yung x natin, pakita natin dyan sa problem. So, yung na-solve natin na x, that is equal to 16 and 4 over 11 minutes. Okay? So that is simply 16 and 4 over 11 minutes. We are looking for the specific time. So kailangan maisulat natin, paano ba siya isusulat in terms of seconds? So ito kasi ay equal kay 16 minutes plus yung fraction natin 4 over 11 minutes. So our target is to convert yung 4 over 11 papunta sa minutes. Kasi yun yung labis sa ating 16 minutes. Okay? So, kailangan madala natin si 4 over 11 papuntang seconds. So, we need to convert this 4 over 11 minutes into seconds. So, we have 60 seconds per minute. So, i-convert lang natin si 4 over 11. Therefore, yung ating x is 16 minutes and yung 4 over 11, so si 4 over 11 natin, convert lang natin. So, para maging 4 over 11, asin ko yung 16. Yan. So, ito yung ating 4 over, bakit na lang natin dito, 4 over 11. So, ito yung remainder natin, yung kalabisan natin sa 16. Let's convert this. Yung pinakaputal, so, i-convert natin yan into seconds. So 4 over 11 times 60, so that is 21.81 seconds. Okay? So that is 21. So pwede na nating ilagay dyan yung 0.81 seconds. Okay? So therefore, pag pinahanap sa atin si specific time, so yung time natin, itong specific, so that is at 3 o'clock, 16 minutes, and 21 seconds. So, pwede mong gawin 21.81 seconds or stick na lang tayo sa 21 seconds. So, yan yung magiging sagot kung specific time. Okay? So, at exactly 3 o'clock, 16 minutes, and 21 seconds. So, saktong-sakto dyan, magpapatong si minute hand and si hour hand. So, be careful dun sa pag-a-analyze kasi baka tama na yung process, mali yung sagot kasi mali yung intindi sa tanong. Okay? So, magkaiba yung in how many minutes at saka at what time. In how many minutes, pinapahanap lang sa atin yung value ni x. Pag sinabing at what time, so kailangan isolve natin si specific time. So, yung format natin is in hour, minute, and second. So, kung board exam yan, it might be tricky. So, surely, magiging tricky. Rest assured, sigurado, lalabas choices si 3 and 16.3636 p.m. And on most cases, nasa letter A yan. So, that is wrong. Because wala naman tayong format na decimal sa ating time format. So, instead, use these answers. 3 and 16 and 21 seconds. Okay? So, kung what time? So, balikan ko lang yung nasolve natin na x. So, di ba yung nasolve natin na x is 16 and 4 over 11. So, that is 16 and 4 over 11. So, yan yung nasolve natin kanina na value. Okay? So, ito. So, 16.3636. Yan yung nasolve natin kanina. So, a while ago, ang ginawa natin, inihiwalay lang natin itong putal. So, this 4 over 11, inihiwalay natin siya. Then, minultiply natin ng 60 because we have 60 seconds per minute para ma-convert natin siya into seconds. So, other solution para sa halip na ihiwalay mo pa siya is to press this button. So, itong degree, minute, and second mark ng ating calcu. So, pindutin mo lang yan. Yon, lalabas na. So, ito ay naka-minutes. Itong karugtong niya ay seconds. Yung 49.09, that is actually the equivalent nung 0.81 kanina. Okay? So, yung 0.81, pag minultiply natin ng 60, lalabas yung 49.09. Okay? So, this 49.09, so itong karugtong na ito, yan yung ating, yung pag-convert mo pa si 0.81 second into millisecond. So, you have, again, yung factor natin na 60. Okay? So, yun yung lalabas. So, on most cases naman, hour, minute, and second lang. So, kahit i-neglect na natin tong part na to. Okay? So, yung 16 and 4 over 11, that is simply 16. So, yan ay 16 minutes. So, actually, this is read as 16 degrees, 21 minutes, and 49.09 millisecond. Pero, since itong inilagay natin is converted na into minutes, so ito ay 16 minutes and 21 seconds. So, you may use that technique sa ating calcul. So, pwede yun. Pindutin lang natin ito. Yan. Okay? So, pag pinahanap yung specific time. Okay? So, let's proceed solving yung other problem. So, yung problem number letter B. So, dun sa letter B, hinahanap naman sa atin is opposite each other. So, yung theta natin in degrees is equal to 180 degree for it to be opposite with each other. And as I've said, always start with equation 2. So, ganyan pa din, h natin is equal to 3. Okay? So, substitute lang natin. X is equal to 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, x natin is equal to, so substitute lang natin. That is 30h, so 30 times 3 minus 180 divided by 5.5. So, we can solve for x here. At surely, yung x dyan ay negative. Ito natin, so that is 30 times 3, kasi 3 o'clock, minus 180, sorry. Okay, so 30 times 3 minus 180, divide lang natin ang 5.5. Equals, so yung lumabas sa atin is negative. So, as I've said, so negative. So, kung ano man to. So, negative yung lumabas, negative 180 over 11. And we'll consider this answer to be wrong. Why? Kasi wala naman tayong negative minutes. So, with that, use the other solution. Instead, use the formula x is equal to 30h plus. So, use the plus. Theta in degrees all over 5.5. So, x natin is equal to 30 times h, which is 3, plus theta in degrees, which is 180, divided by 5.5. So, let's solve for x. So, dapat itong ating equation ay plus. Okay? Kasi nag-negative. So, yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. So, para without sketching, masosolve natin. Instead of solving it again. So, that is 49.09. Okay? So, yun yung x natin. Since ang tinatanong naman originally dito sa problem is after how many minutes? So, or in how many minutes? So, stick lang tayo dun sa x. So, pinarasend ko lang yung kanina just in case maging ganun yung tanong. So, abiding with the original problem, so we are tasked to find how many minutes. So, that is after 49.0909 minutes. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, so since we use 30h plus theta in degree, at this time, by this time, yung ating minute hand will be ahead nung hour hand. Kasi di ba pag ang formula natin ay 30h plus, yung minute hand is ahead sa hour hand. Pag ang ginamit natin ay 30h minus, yung minute hand is behind. So since plus yung lumabas sa atin, kasi nung minus ay nag-negative, plus dapat yung gagamitin natin. And with that, so imagine, yung oras natin is at 3:49. So at 3:49 PM, rest assured na tama na nasa unahan si minute hand. Okay? Whereas, at 3:16 PM, so nasa hulihan pa yung ating hour hand, minute hand. Okay? by this time. Dito sa una nating na-solve. Nasa hulihan si minute hand. Dito, nasa unahan na siya. Okay? Kasi initially, yung minute hand natin, yung hour hand natin is ahead sa minute hand. Okay? But since mas mabilis gumagalaw yung ating minute hand, after some time, nauunahan niya na ito. Okay? By the way, dito pala sa una ay magkapatong na pala sila. Okay? Since they are coinciding. So, walang nauna. Okay? So, ibig sabihin lang yan, after 16.36 minutes, mauuna na yung minute hand. Okay? So, maiiwanan na. So, kaya ang nangyari, nung nag-49 minutes na, after 49 minutes, nasa unahan na yung ating minute hand. Paano natin nalaman? Because we use the formula that we derived when the minute hand is ahead. Okay? So, yon. Pero kung yung mga na-solve natin ay, let's say, yung time natin has occurred before 15 minutes. So, rest assured, nasa unahan yung ating minute hand. Nasa unahan yung ating hour hand. Okay? Kasi initially, at 3 o'clock mark, yung ating hour hand is already ahead sa minute hand by 15 minutes. So, ibig sabihin, hahabol pa lang yung ating minute hand. So, kung yung oras natin is less than 15 minutes, surely, or specifically in this case, less than 16.36 minutes, surely, yung ating minute hand ay behind sa hour hand. Because after this time pa lang siya mauuna. Like this example. Okay? So, let's proceed with the next problem, yung letter C. Perpendicular naman. Okay, so that's how you solve this one even without sketching. Kasi pag in-sketch natin, we will be doing trial and error. Kasi hindi naman natin alam at that specific time, at that specific angle, sino ba yung mauuna. Or malawak or masyadong malalim tayo mag-analyze, so makukuha talaga natin. Pero kung gusto natin ng foolproof na solution, always start with the second equation, yung naka-minus. Or kung gusto mo talaga, edi i-drawing mo. So, yun. So, for letter C, okay? So, perpendicular to each other. So, again, let's start with 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. Okay? So, x natin, so h natin dito is equal to 3 o'clock. So, 3. Then, theta natin in degrees, since siya ay perpendicular, will be using 90 degrees. So, with that, substitute lang natin. So, x is equal to 30h. So, that is 30 times 3 minus 90 degree all over 5.5. So, 30 times 3, that is 90. So, 90 minus 90, that is 0. Over 5.5, so that is 0 minutes. Okay? So, let's have this one. So, syempre, gaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, when we use this equation, yung x is equal to 30h minus theta in degree divided by 5.5, this will always be the first time. Okay? So, ito yung first time natin. So, from 3 o'clock p.m., so, syempre, at 3 o'clock, surely, yung displacement at exactly 3 o'clock, the displacement between the hour hand and the minute hand will be 90 degrees. 3 o'clock. So, at 3 o'clock mark. That's why, after 0 minutes, so ibig sabihin nun, this is exactly at 3 o'clock. So, yung ating hour hand and the minute hand will be perpendicular to each other. Okay? But, again, going back to the problem, okay, kasi 'di ba ito hindi siya nag-negative. So this can be considerable answer. So pwede ito. Depende sa tanong. If the problem asks us after how many minutes at after 3 o'clock will the hands of the clock be perpendicular? Okay? So, sabi sa atin is after. So, ibig sabihin, hindi kasama yung 3 o'clock. Okay? Kasi at 0 minutes, so that is exactly at 3 o'clock. And notice, tatama pa din siya. Makukuha natin even the angle at the initial condition. Okay? So, at initial condition yan, pinakita sa atin that at 3 o'clock, it is already they are already perpendicular to each other. Okay? So, 3 o'clock, perpendicular na siya. However, ang tinatanong sa atin is after. So, hindi kasama yung mismong 3 o'clock. So, since we'll need to find after, so, kuhanin natin yung kabila. So, that should be 30h plus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, substitute lang natin. X is equal to 30 times 3 plus 90 divided by 5.5. X natin is equal to, kuha lang tayo ng kalki ulit. So, that is 30 times 3. So, ang pinagkaiba ay plus naman siya ngayon. So, that is plus 90 divided by 5.5. Equals. So, after 32 minutes. 32 minutes and 7272. 7272. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, after 32.72 minutes, perpendicular na ulit yung ating angle, the displacement between the minute hand and the hour hand. Again, it happened first at 3 o'clock. So, gaya ng na-solve natin. So, but since ang sabi is after, so, we'll be considering this one, yung kabila. Okay? So, always check kung ano yung talaga yung pinapahanap sa problem. So, that is simply the analysis. Okay? Pagdating dito sa clock problems, pertaining sa mga problems involving angle. So, yung relationship, again, between the clock, okay, and the angle. So, yung mga angle in betweens, yan. So, we can use the formula. Again, x is equal to 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5 or 30h plus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. So, either of the two. So, again, as I recommend, always start with the negative 1 para laging makuha natin yung mga first time. Okay? So, let's proceed. So, second problem pa lang tayo. So, for problem number 2, at what time after 12 noon will the hour hand and the minute hand of the clock first form an angle of 120 degrees? So, kagaya lang yan ng ating mga sinolve kanina. So, pabaliktad naman. So, ang ibinigay na sa atin, hindi na special case, specific angle na. And since we derived the general formula for those things, madali lang. So, for problem number 2, so again, we'll be using x is equal to 30h minus theta in degrees divided by 5.5. Okay? So, at what time after 12 noon? So, take note lang, yung mga h natin, that pertains, kaya natin siya ginawang ganon, that is the reference. So, yung reference natin is the 12 o'clock mark. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, pag yung time natin is 12 o'clock, so whether it is 12 midnight or 12 noon, we will assume that h is equal to 0. Kasi yan yung ating reference. Okay? Kasi di ba wala naman tayong, pag hindi naman natin pwedeng ilagay na 5 times 12, so that will be already 60. So, isang oras agad yon, isang ikot. So, instead, when we see 12 noon, 12 p.m., 12 midnight, 12 a.m. So, we will assume h to be 0. We will use the value of h as 0. So, do not forget this. So, that is always at 12 o'clock. So, this will always happen when our time is started at 12 o'clock. Again, either noon or midnight. Okay? So, h natin dito will be 0. So, yung theta natin is equal to 120 degrees. So, substitute lang natin. So, h natin is equal to 30 times 0 minus 120 degree divided by 5.5. So, even without solving this one, rest assured, negative yung lalabas. Kasi, 30 times 0 minus 120. So, yung numerator natin, negative na. So, ibig sabihin, this solution is wrong. Okay? So, after 12 o'clock, surely, after mag-coincide si minute hand and the hour hand, mauuna agad dyan si minute hand. Therefore, so kung 12 o'clock yan, di ba, coincide silang dalawa, rest assured, mauuna yung minute hand. Kaya, simula pa lang, yung una nating solution ay mali na. Okay? Kasi, this solution can be applied when the minute hand is behind the hour hand. But, after coinciding, the minute hand will always be ahead dun sa hour hand. Kaya, hindi na to pwede. Okay? Mathematically, upon substitution, lalabas pa din. That's why just follow the recommendation na ibinigay ko kanina. Okay? So instead, let's use x is equal to 30h plus theta in degrees. Divide this by 5.5. So again, h natin is 0. Then, we have it as 120 degrees. Divide lang natin ng 5.5. Therefore, makukuha na natin si x to be, walang tayo ulit ng calcu. Okay? So that is 30 times 0 plus 120. Divide natin ng 5.5. Equals, so that is 240 over 11 or 21.8181 minutes. Okay? So, may na-solve tayo. But again, ang sabi sa problem is at what time. So, again, gamitin na natin to. So, at what time? So, yung time natin is 12, 21, 49. So, kahit hindi na natin isama si millisecond. Okay? So, this will be our exact time. So, after at 12, 21:49, so 12 o'clock, 21 minutes, 49 seconds PM, yung minute hand and the hour hand will be displaced by 120 degrees. So, yun lang yung sinasabi sa atin ng problem. Okay? Let's proceed. So, another type of problem naman tayo. Okay? Involving clocks. So, by this time, pure analysis na tayo. So, ibig sabihin, pag yung problems na nakita natin involves at what time for that specific angle, bonus na dapat yun para sa atin. Kasi, isa-substitute lang natin siya doon sa ating formula. Wala nang analysis na malalim na kinakailangan. Okay? So, we'll proceed with deeper type of clock-related problems. Okay? So, it is now between 9 and 10 o'clock. In 4 minutes, the hour hand will be directly opposite the position occupied by the minute hand 3 minutes ago. What time is it? Okay, so medyo malalim na ito. Then, in a quarter of an hour, the minute hand will be behind the hour hand by only half as much as it is now behind it. What time is it? So, this type of problems, ito yung mga common na mas malalim na approach pagdating sa clock. So, let's try solving this. So, try muna natin yung unahan. Okay. So, gawa muna tayo ng clock. So, by this time, we need to draw the sketch na. Okay. Gawa muna tayo ng clock. Okay? So, dito medyo kailangan talaga, hindi medyo, kailangan talaga nating mag-drawing na. So, let's draw the clock first. So, it is now between 9 and 10 o'clock. So, pag ganitong type of problem, we will be using the 9 o'clock mark as our reference. So, yung initial point natin will be at 9 o'clock. So, yung initial time natin. Or yung ating reference. Okay? So, this is yung 9 o'clock mark. But it is said that between 9 and 10 o'clock. So, that is after 9 o'clock. So, after some time. So, pwedeng nandito pa si minute hand or anywhere dito sa ating figure. Pero, maganda na ipwesto na natin siya dun sa mas realistic or mas malapit dun sa sinasabi ng problem. So, let's say dito. Kasi at this point, base dun sa problem, we need to arrive with a position na directly opposite. So, mag-o-occur lang yan at this point. Kasi rest assured, si our hand ay hanggang dito lang sa 10 o'clock mark makakarating. Because stated sa problem that that is between 9 and 10 o'clock. So, yung maximum time na pwede lang matravel ni our hand is until it reach this 10 o'clock mark. So, that is exactly after 60 minutes. So, para mapakita lang natin yung figure, let's say yung ating time ay nandito. Yung time natin sa ngayon, the present time. Okay, so lagay ko dito si minute hand. Okay, so here is your minute hand. So from this point, going to this point, so from the o'clock mark, yon. So that is our X. Okay? So kuhanin na din natin yung initial position ni our hand. So that is exactly at 5h or 5 times 9. So exactly 45 minutes. Yun yung pwesto ng ating our hand. So that is 5h. Yan. Yung initial position ni our hand. So, if the minute hand moves by x minutes, so surely yung our hand natin will move by x over 12. Okay, sabihin natin nandito siya. Then, ito yung exact time natin at present. So, yung measurement niya from the 9 o'clock mark, so this is x over 12. Okay? So, hindi pa yan 180, or 12 lang. So, sabi, in 4 minutes, the hour hand will be opposite the position occupied by the minute hand. So, ibig sabihin, after this present time, so after 4 minutes pa, sa time natin ngayon, which is this position, after another 4 minutes, so from this point, let's say, move tayo ng kaunti pa dito, ng 4 minutes. Okay, so move pa dito si minute hand for another 4 minutes. So, the displacement of this is 4 minutes. So, in this 4-minute time, so surely, yung minute hand, hour hand natin will move, okay, at this point. Okay, gagalaw din siya correspondingly. So, dito sa present time natin, it will move by, so if the minute hand moves by 4 minutes, surely, yung hour hand natin will move by 4 over 12 minutes. So, using the principle that we are discussing, that for every x movement or x minute movement of the minute hand, the hour hand moves by x over 12. So, if the minute hand moves by 4 minutes, the hour hand will move by 4 over 12 minutes. So, ito yung present. So, future natin. Ibig sabihin, after 4 minutes. And, sabi dun sa problem, that 4 minutes, okay, so that 4 minutes will be directly opposite sa position ni minute hand 3 minutes ago. So, since this is the present position of the minute hand, So its position 3 minutes ago, let's say somewhere here. Okay. So let's say this position is 3 minutes ago. This is 3 minutes ago. So this part of the minute hand. So we do not need to draw the position of the hour hand 3 minutes ago. Okay, so we need to draw the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago because it is said that the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago, which is this one, okay, itong broken line na ito, is behind or displaced sa position ni hour hand 4 minutes from now by 180 degrees. So, hindi lang accurate yung drawing, but let's use the principle. Okay, that is simply opposite. So, it denotes that the position of the hour hand, so this is your hour hand, 4 minutes from now, so this position is directly opposite sa position ni minute hand 3 minutes ago. So this is the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago. This is the position of the hour hand 4 minutes from now. Okay? Since this is hour hand that is moving, we will be using 4 over 12 displacement. Okay? So we have this figure. So if this position, okay, so from this point up to this point is x, and from this point up to this point is 3 minutes. So we can say that from this point going to this point, so itong kaputol na ito, so we can say that this point going to this point, ito sa kaputol, before the 3 minute ago mark, we can have it as x minus 3. Okay? So again, from this point to this point up to here, we have it as x. Then, from this point, going through here is 3 minutes. Therefore, from this point, going to this point is x minus 3. So, itong kaputol na ito. So, this part will be x minus 3. Okay? Then, since we know that from 9 to 12, so that is exactly, in terms of minutes, that is 15 minutes. So this is 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes. So all in all, from this point, going to this point, okay, so this is exactly 15 minutes in terms of minutes. So from this point, from the 9 o'clock mark to the 12 o'clock mark, that is exactly 15 minutes. Okay, so since this is 15 minutes, this is x over 12, this part, this one is 4 over 12, we can say that this portion is 15 minus 4 over 12 minus x over 12. Okay, again, from this point to this point, so this quarter, that is 15 minutes. So from this point to this point is x over 12, another 4 over 12, then the remaining will be 15 minus x over 12 minus 4 over 12. Okay? Now, we know that the displacement from here through here is 180 degrees. Again, the displacement from this point, ito, going to this point is exactly, di ba ito yun? 180 degrees as stated in the problem. Therefore, we can say that this part plus this part is equal to 180 degree. So, let's have this. So, yung 15 minus 4 over 12 minus x over 12. So, ito yun. 15 minus 4 over 12 minus x over 12. So this portion. So from this point. Okay? So actually this one. Okay? And from this point going to this point, so that is from this point going to this point, that is equal to x minus 3. So that is plus x minus 3, that is equal to 180 degrees. Okay? So because we know that this one is opposite with each other. So again, from this point to this point, so this one, this arc, so that is 15 minus 4 over 12 minus x over 12. Then from this point going to this one, that is x minus 3. So this portion. Okay? So when we add those two, we will arrive with 180 degrees. Now, we know that these values is in minutes. Okay? Whereas this value is in degree. Therefore, we need to convert this one first to minutes before equating. So, let's multiply this one by the conversion factor of 6 degrees per minute. So, we have 1 minute is equal to 6 degrees. Okay? So, let's rewrite this one. So, simplify lang natin. So, let's simplify this one. So, that is 15 minus 4 over 12 minus 3. So, let's have our calculator. So, we have, unahin ko lang yung x. So, x minus x over 12. So, that is 11 over 12x. Then, we have 15. We are combining like terms. Minus 4 over 12 or 1/3. Then minus 3 equals, so that is 35 over 3. So positive. So 11 over, so when we combine this, that is 11 over 12x plus 35 over 3 is equal to, so this one is in minutes, 180 divided by 6 degrees. So that is exactly 30 minutes. So notice the 30-minute mark is when the angle is displaced by 30 minutes, or the minute hand and the hour hand. So when they are positioned or displaced by 30 degrees, 30 minutes, so that is displaced by 180 degrees. Okay, so on most cases. Okay, so that is 180 divided by 6 degrees. So you have there 30 minutes. So the units of this are matched already, which is already in minutes. So we can solve for x. So solving for x, that is 30 minus, so that is 30, okay, 30 minus 35 over 3 divided by, divided by 11 over 12. So x natin will be, so 30 minus 35 over 3 divided by, use the parentheses, 11 over 12 equals, so that is simply 20. So 20 minutes. So what time is it? The time, so the time between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock, so that is exactly 9:20. Okay, so we cannot say if it is AM or PM. So the time is 9:20. So at 9:20, after 4 minutes, so that is 9:24, the minute hand and the hour hand will be displaced by 180 degrees with respect to the position of the minute hand 3 minutes ago. Okay? So that will happen when the time is at 9:20. So let's proceed. In a quarter of an hour, so again, the time is between 9 and 10 o'clock. So in a quarter of an hour between 9 and 10 o'clock, the minute hand will be behind the hour hand by only half as much as it is now behind it. What time is it? Okay, so let's proceed. Again, in a quarter of an hour, the minute hand will be behind the hour hand by only half as much as it is now behind it. What time is it? So again, considering the time to be between 9 and 10 o'clock. First things first, let's draw the clock. Okay, gagawa lang tayo ng clock. 6. Okay, so again, let's have the 9 o'clock mark as our reference. Okay, so after some time, so let's have the minute hand. Let's say went through here. Nandito na yung minute hand. So from this point, going to this point, the minute hand moved by X minutes. So surely the hour hand will move, let's say, here. Ito yung hour hand natin. So if it moved by X minutes, so surely the hour hand will move by X over 12 minutes. Then, in a quarter of an hour, so quarter of an hour, 1 hour is 16 minutes, 1/4 or 1/4 of 60 minutes, that is 15 minutes. So, ibig sabihin, after 15 minutes. So, let's have first the angle of the original one. So, here is your theta, the displacement between the minute hand and the hour hand. So, this figure is just an assumption. Okay? So, in a quarter of an hour, the minute hand will be behind the hour hand by only half as much as it is now behind it. So as you can see, I drew so the minute hand to be behind the hour hand because as stated in the problem, it is now behind it. The minute hand is behind the hour hand. So therefore, the time now, with that time that we have now, the minute hand is behind the hour hand. So our figure is correct. So in a quarter of an hour, ibig sabihin, after another 15 minutes, so let's say it moved again up to this point. Let's say this movement here is 15 minutes. So this is another 15 minutes. So after another 15 minutes, so surely the our hand will move also. So let's say the our hand is now at this point. Okay, so this portion, okay, so this is 15 over 12 because that is after the minute hand moves 15 minutes, the hour hand will move 15 over 12. Okay? The angle between them, so the minute hand will be behind the hour hand. So again, even after 15 minutes, the minute hand is still behind the hour hand. But it is only half as much. So if a while ago it is behind by theta, therefore from this point, so next position niya after 15 minutes, it is only displaced by half the theta. So that is simply theta over 2. Still, the minute hand is behind the hour hand, yet the displacement is only half. Okay? Half na lamang nung previous displacement. So, originally, yung displacement niya now, so at present time, is theta. But after 50 minutes, so 15 minutes in the future, so the minute hand will move by 15 minutes, the hour hand will move by 15 over 12 minutes. So, the displacement between them will only be theta over 2. Okay? So, let's have some equation to determine what will be the time. So, at present, so looking at the present time, so we can find the value of theta using the formula that we have. Since the minute hand, so minute hand is behind, so behind the hour hand, hour hand. So having the minute hand located behind the hour hand, we will use the formula that we derived a while ago, the second formula. So from the second formula that we have, theta, I will use theta in minutes here. So theta in minutes is equal to, so again, when the minute hand is behind, so the 11 over 12 factor is minus. So that is 5h minus 11 over 12. So this is our derivation a while ago. Okay? So, based on our derivation. So, I'm using theta in minutes because the units here is in minutes. So, we do not have units in degrees. So, let's use units in minutes para pare-pareha sila and no need for conversions. So, I already gave this formula. Theta in minutes is equal to 5h minus 11 over 12x when the minute hand is behind the hour hand. So, at h natin is equal to 9. Therefore, theta in minutes is equal to 45. So 5, so I will present it as 5 times 9 minus 11 over 12x. So, patasin lang natin. So, our first equation, we have 11 over 12x, tinranspose ko lang, plus theta. So, that is theta in minutes is equal to 5 times 9, which is 45. And let's call this as equation 1. Okay? Then, let's form another sets of equations. So, again, so same with the problem that we have a while ago. From this point, going to this point. Okay? So, from 9 going to 12, that is exactly 15 minutes. Okay? So, this portion from 9 to this part is x over 12. From the present time after 15 minutes, so that is 15 over 12. So, this remaining portion, okay? So, let's call this as y. Okay, y. So, we let it as y. So, we can say that x over 12 plus 15 over 12 plus y is equal to 15 minutes. So, let's form it as another equation. So, we can say that x over 12 plus 15 over 12 plus y is equal to 15. Patasin lang natin. That is x over 12 plus y is equal to 15 minus 15 over 12. So that is simply x over 12 plus y is equal to 15 minus 15 over 12. So let's have our calculator. So that is 15 minus 15 over 12 equals, that is 55 over 4. So that is our equation 2. Okay? Then, let's form another equation. So, from here, dito ko na lang lalagay sa taas. Okay, so equation 1, equation 2. So, we know that the complete revolution of this one is, in terms of minute, this is the complete minutes here is 60 minutes. So, let's have it. So, from this point going to this point, that is x. So, we will have x, okay, plus, so this portion going to this portion is exactly 15 minutes. So, that is plus 15. Then, this part going to this part, that is theta over 2 plus theta over 2. Then, this portion is from this point going to this point. So, that is simply y. So, plus y is equal to 60. So, this is 60 minutes. So, complete revolution. So, patasin lang natin. That is x plus theta over 2 plus y is equal to 60 minus 15. So that is simply x plus theta over 2 plus y is equal to 45. So that is your equation 3. So we have 3 equations, 3 unknowns. So we can use our calculator to solve this. So using mode 5, 2. The equation 3 unknown. The first unknown is x, second unknown is theta, third unknown is y. So from equation 1, that is 11 over 12x. Then theta is 1. Y natin is 0 kasi wala naman siya doon. Constant natin is 45. Then, from equation 2, x is 1 over 12. Then, y natin, theta natin is 0. Y natin is 1. Then, our constant is 55 over 4. Then, from equation 3, x natin is 1. Theta natin is 1 half. Then, y. Then, 45. Equals. So, yung first unknown natin is x, which is yun yung pinapahanap sa atin. So, yun lang naman ang kailangan natin. So, we have x to be 19.09. So, 19.0909 minutes. Okay? Since ang pinapahanap sa atin is what time? So, what time after 9 o'clock? So, that is 9 o'clock and so, yung 19.09 natin is 19 minutes and 5 seconds. So, 5 seconds. So, this will be our answer. Okay? So, let's proceed with problem number 4. The time is past 2 o'clock. In 10 minutes, the hand of the clock will be as much ahead of the hour hand as it is now behind it. What time is it? So, we'll be dissecting this problem again. So, let's draw the clock first. So, notice in this the following problems that we are solving, we are now drawing the figure. That's why as much as possible, if we can skip drawing the figure, we will. So that can be applied when the problem is only the relationship between the time and the angles in between the hour hand and the minute hand. However, if some complicated problems like this set of problems from 3 to 4, we will be using sketches. So, and pure analysis. Okay? So, we are just applying the three principles of clock. So, let's have our clock. Okay? So, the time is past 2 o'clock. So, let's start with the 2 o'clock mark. Okay? So, it is always important, our reference. Okay? So, here's your reference. So, the time is past 2 o'clock. So, somewhere in the clock. In 10 minutes, so after 10 minutes of that specific time, the minute hand will be as much as ahead of the hour hand. So after 10 minutes, the minute hand will be ahead than the hour hand. So mauuna na si minute hand after 10 minutes, as it is now behind it. Therefore, we can say that by this time, the minute hand is behind the hour hand. So, yun yung ibig sabihin. Kailangan lagi, mahanap natin what is the present condition, what is the present figure na kailangan nating ma-draw, yung now. Kailangan makuha natin lagi yung now. So, with that, based on the problem, so in 10 minutes, the minute hand will be ahead sa hour hand, as it is now behind it. So therefore, the minute hand as of now is behind the hour hand. So let's start from there. So we can say that the minute hand, let's say, is somewhere here pa lamang. Okay? So nandyan pa lang siya, hindi pa siya mauuna kay hour hand. So let's say here is your minute hand. So its movement from its initial position is X. Then simultaneously, move din yung ating our hand. So from this point, in this point, so here is your x over 12. Then, from this point, going to the 2 o'clock mark, okay, so this is our 5h, or 5 times 2 o'clock, which is 10. Okay, so that is our present time. Okay, so in 10 minutes, therefore, from this point, okay, so from this point, so from here, okay, for another 10 minutes, so another round, so another 10 minutes, let's say up to here. Okay, we are just exaggerating the figure so that we can draw it easier. Okay, so this is after 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, so from this position, the the minute hand, extend na lang natin to. So here is our 10-minute mark. Okay, so the minute hand will be placed here. Okay, so correspondingly, the hour hand will move. Okay, so here is the movement of the hour hand. So from this point, going to this point, from here through here, that is 10 over 12. Okay, so again, after 2 o'clock, so from 2 o'clock, the present time, so the minute hand is behind the hour hand. So let's say it is behind by a certain angle, theta. So the time now, so the minute hand, so that is x, so yung hour hand from the 2 o'clock mark, so that is x over 12. Then, in 10 minutes, so from the present position of the minute hand, which is this one, after 10 minutes, so let's say up to here, okay? So an exaggerated figure para lang makita. So up to here. So from this point, going to this point. So this part is full 10 minutes. The minute hand will be ahead the hour hand. So after 10 minutes, the minute hand move from this point going to this point. So that is the full 10 minutes. So the hour hand will move from this point going to this point by 10 over 12. So this displacement, okay, this displacement is what? The minute hand will be ahead by the hour hand. So nauna na si minute hand by as much as it is now behind it. So this is the same theta. So ibig sabihin lang yan, kung kanina si minute hand ay nasa likod ni hour hand by this theta, after 10 minutes, mauuna na si minute hand kay hour hand by this theta. So, kunyari ay delay si minute hand kanina ng let's say 30 degrees. After 10 minutes, the minute hand will be ahead sa hour hand by 30 degrees na. So, mauuna na si minute hand. Okay, so ganun siya ini-interpret. So, syempre may movement pa sila dyan. Okay? So, let's plot this. Okay? So, from this given figure, okay, so we can get this whole position. Okay, so let's equate this full displacement. Okay, so let's say from this point going up to this point. So let's have this. Okay, yung buong yan. So let's form the equation. So from this point going to this point. So let's start with this one. So if this is x up to this point, okay, so x, so x, then from this point, yung position ni x, up to this point. So ito yun. So from this point going to this one, this is full 10 minutes. So ito hanggang dito. So this whole projection is simply x plus 10. And that is equal to kabila. So from this point going to this one, nandito, that is 5h. Then from this point to this point, that is x over 12. So plus x over 12. Then from this point going to this point, so that is 10 over 12. So plus 10 over 12. Then from this point going to this point, as you can see, there is your theta. Okay, so plus theta. Okay, so let's form the equations. So we can say, so x, so we will have x minus transpose, that is x minus x over 12. Then transpose, so minus theta, is equal to, may iwan yung 5h. So h natin here is, the time is from 2 o'clock. So h natin is 2. So that is simply 5. H natin is 2. Then plus 10 over 12. Then transpose minus 10. Okay? So simplifying, this will be 11 over 12x minus theta is equal to 5 times 2 is 10 minus 10 is 0. So this is 10 over 12. So here is your equation 1. Sorry. Okay. So x minus x over 12 is 11 over 12x minus theta. Then 5 times 2 is 10 minus 10 is 0. So we will have 10 over 12. So that is simply 11 over 12x minus theta is equal to 10 over 12. So that is your equation 1. Then, let's have the formula for theta. We know that theta, so dito sa ating unang equation, our theta, since we can use the derived formula that we have. Since we know that theta is equal to, so since the minute hand, the hour hand is ahead sa minute hand, or the minute hand is behind by the hour hand by theta. So we can say that theta is equal to 5h minus 11 over 12x. Okay? So this equation is already given. So since we know that initially at present time the minute hand is behind the hour hand. So when the minute hand is behind, so we'll be using this equation. So let's use this as our equation 2 where h. So substitute lang natin. H natin here is yung h natin 2. So that is 5 times 2 minus 11 over 12x. So transpose, we will have, okay, so h natin is simply 2. So substitute ko lang. So transpose, 11 over 12x plus theta is equal to 10. So let's have this one as our second equation. So we have two equations, two unknowns. So this equation and this equation. So from here, we can solve for x. Okay, so we do not need to find the value of theta. So using our calculator, okay, so again, let's use mode 5 to equation 2 unknown, that is mode 5 1. So from equation 1, so that is 11 over 12, so 11 over 12x, then our theta is negative 1, then the constant is 10 over 12. So equation 2, that is positive 11 over 12. Theta is 1. Then constant is 10 equals. So this is our x. So 5.0909 minutes. Okay? Since we are tasked to find the value of the actual time, so the actual time is at 2:05. So yung 5.0909 ay 65 over 11. So 65 over 11. So that is 5 and 54. So 5 and 54 seconds. So yeah, this is our time. 2 o'clock, 5 minutes, and 54 seconds. Okay, so let's try another problem. It is now between 2 and 3 o'clock. At what time will the angle between the hands of the clock be bisected by the line connecting the center of the clock and the 3 o'clock mark? So let's draw the figure. Okay, so the time between 2 and 3 o'clock. So let's just use the 2 o'clock as our starting point or our reference point. Okay, so at what time will the angle between the hands of the clock, so after some time, so be bisected by the line connecting the center of the clock and the 3 o'clock mark. So ibig sabihin, this part, okay, so this position, yung center of the clock and the 3 o'clock mark will bisect the minute hand and the hour hand. And for that to happen, the minute hand should be ahead sa hour hand. Kasi imposible naman na lumampas si hour hand sa 3 o'clock mark to go to this position. Because it is said in the problem that the time is between 2 and 3 o'clock. So yung restriction ni hour hand ay hanggang dito lang sa 3 o'clock. And that is the most na pwede niyang maabot between 2 and 3 o'clock. So if this position should bisect the angle between the hour hand and the minute hand, surely the hour hand will stay somewhere here and the minute hand will go sa baba. Therefore, the minute hand will be ahead sa ating hour hand. Okay? So that is an important analysis. So alam dapat agad natin kung sino ba yung mauuna based on the problem. So again, the hour hand hanggang dito lang siya sa 3. So para mabisect yung angle dito somewhere dyan, so mahati dito sa 3 o'clock mark. So kailangan bababa na yung ating minute hand. So the minute hand will be ahead sa ating hour hand. Okay, so from this point, going through here. So let's call this as X. And the position. So, lagay ko lang muna to. This part. So, from this point, going to this one, here is your 5H. Then, from this point, say up to somewhere here. Okay, so, nari dyan. So, let's say ito, this portion. So, we can, okay lang na yung drawing natin ay hindi accurate as long as tama yung dinedenote natin na nauuna dapat yung mini hand kay our hand. Okay? So, this is x over 12. Yung movement ni our hand. Okay? So, we know that from this point to this point, that is our theta. Okay? So, kuhanan muna natin yung equation dyan. So, theta here, since minute hand is ahead sa ating hour hand, so we can use the formula when the minute hand is ahead. And when the minute hand is ahead, we had the formula of 11 over 12x minus 5h. That is your theta in minutes. When the minute hand is ahead sa ating hour hand. So, we already derived this formula. So, again, when the minute hand is ahead sa ating hour hand, which is this case. So, h natin dito is equal to 2. So, therefore, that is 11 over 12x. Transpose ko lang. So, minus theta is equal to 5h. So, that is 5 times 2. So, that is 11 over 12x minus theta is equal to 10. So, let's have it as our first equation. Then, so it is said in the problem that this point, so the angle here, theta, is bisected by the 3 o'clock mark. So if we are going to use this point, so this portion, to bisect this, if this is theta, if it is said that it is bisected, so here is your theta over 2, and at this point, that is also theta over 2. Okay? So we are going to form another equation. So we know that from this point, going through the 3 o'clock mark, so from 12 o'clock mark, that is a full 15 minutes. So from this point going to this point is 15 minutes, or that is 5h. Okay, so that is 5h plus x over 12. So x over 12. So this 5h plus x over 12 plus theta over 2. So plus theta over 2 is equal to yung buo, which is 15. So we can form another equation from here. So that is x over 12 plus theta over 2 is equal to 15 minus 5h, where h is equal to 2. So that is simply x over 12 plus theta over 2 is equal to 15 minus 10, that is 5. So that is your equation 2. So using our calculator, we can find the value of x. So using mode 5, 1. So x natin from equation 1, that is 11 over 12x minus theta, so minus 1. Then yung constant natin is 10. Then from equation 2, that is 1 over 12x or x over 12. Then theta over 2, that is simply 1 half. Then constant natin is 5. So yung lalabas dyan, this is x, yung una natin, 18.46. So x natin is 18.4615 minutes. So hindi naman kailangan yung theta. Since ang tinatanong ay at what time, so yung time natin again from the 2 o'clock mark. So let's have this, that is at 2:18:27. So yan yung time natin. Okay, so let's have the last problem. So again, the time is between 2 and 3 o'clock. If a person looking at this watch mistakes the hour hand of the minute hand and thinks that the time is 55 minutes earlier than it really is, what is the true time? Okay, so let's draw this problem. Okay, so let's have our clock here. So since it is between 2 and 3 o'clock, so let's have the 2 o'clock mark as our reference. So it is said that if a person looking at this watch mistakes the hour hand for the minute hand and thinks that the time is 55 minutes earlier than it really is, so simply speaking, delay yung kanyang relo. Okay, so or delay yung tingin niya sa time. So let's say the real time is already 3 o'clock, he thought that it is only 2 o'clock for a 1 hour delay. So, almost ganun yung naging mindset niya. So, he thought that the time is 55 minutes earlier. So, compared doon sa actual time. So, ibig sabihin, pabalik. So, that analysis is important. Why? Because in placing the minute hand and the hour hand, kung sino yung mauuna sa kanilang dalawa. So in this case, the minute hand will be behind the hour hand sa real time natin. Okay, so ilagay ko dito si minute hand. Let's say somewhere here. Okay, nandiyan yung minute hand. So is displaced by x. Then yung sa hour hand natin, so yung position ay hour hand. So yung original position niya mula dito, that is 5h. Then, yung naging displacement niya after some time. So, itong portion na ito, here is x over 12. And here is your theta. So, ito yung tamang presentation or representation ng ating problem. Why? The minute hand should be behind the hour hand. Para pag nagkabaliktad si R hand and si minute hand. So, kung nagkabaliktad sila, so let's say the actual time is between 2 and 3 o'clock. Kung nagkabaliktad to, the actual time will be between 1 and 2 o'clock. So, which is 55 minutes or almost 1 hour earlier dun sa real time. So, let's say for example, na ilagay mo dito si minute hand. Okay, so nailagay natin si minute hand to be ahead sa hour hand para sa ating present time. Pag nagbaliktad si minute hand and si hour hand, surely kung mapupunta dito yung hour hand, nung baliktad yung tingin niya sa oras will be ahead. Okay, not earlier. But as stated in the problem, he thinks that the time is 55 minutes earlier. So ibig sabihin, akala niya mas maaga pa. So, meaning to say, the minute hand should be behind the hour hand for the real time. Again, if the minute hand is ahead sa hour hand sa ating real time, pag nag-interchange yan, the hour hand will be ahead sa minute hand and that is ahead na sa 2 o'clock mark. So, ahead na siya sa real time natin, which is wrong. Because as stated in the problem, the man or the person thought that that is 55 minutes earlier, mas maaga. So, dapat sa likod mo na si minute hand. Para pag nagbaliktad, nasa unahan si hour hand, ibig sabihin the time is before 2 o'clock. Okay, which is 55 minutes or almost 1 hour before doon sa real time natin. Okay, so this part is very important. Yung tamang placement natin na minute hand and hour hand. And since the minute hand is behind sa ating hour hand, so we can say that let's call this as x sub r or the real minute hand. Okay, so this is x sub r and this is theta sub r or the real r hand. So from this equation, we can say that theta sub r is equal to, since behind si minute hand, our equation will be 5h minus x sub r over x sub r multiplied by 11 over 12 or 11 over 12 x sub r as derived a while ago. So, yan yung lalabas nating equation. Since the minute hand is behind sa r hand, so our equation will be theta is equal to 5h minus 11 over 12 x sub r. So, where h natin, since sinabi sa problem that the time is between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, we use the 2 o'clock mark. Therefore, theta sub r natin is equal to 5 times 2 minus 11 over 12 x sub r. So, simplifying, we have 11 over 12 x sub r is equal plus, transpose ko lang, plus theta sub r is equal to 10. Okay? So, you can have it as your first equation. So, let's call this as our equation 1. Okay? So, if the person thinks that the minute hand and the hour hand are interchanged, so nagkabaliktad siya ng tingin, so we can say that yung the person thought that this minute hand is the hour hand and that this hour hand is the minute hand. So, nagkabaliktad. So, let's draw. That happens. Okay. So, when that happens, so magbabaliktad. Okay? So, kung nagkabaliktad siya ng tingin, let's say this is 12, 6, okay. So, kung nagkabaliktad siya ng tingin, yung nakapwesto dito is yung R hand. So, yung original natin, for our original one, so yung ating x sub r, yung real natin ay ito. Here is our x sub r. Okay? So, ayan yung ating x sub r. This part is your x sub r. Okay? So, yun, yung mahaba. So, when the person thought that the minute hand and the hour hand, so yung nagkabaliktad siya ng tingin, therefore, dito sa pwesto ni minute hand, dyan pupunta yung kanyang hour hand. And sa pwesto ni R hand, dito pupunta yung kanyang minute hand. Therefore, yung minute hand ng person, akala niya ay dito nakalagay. So, somewhere here. So, the person thought that this is the minute hand. The place of the R hand na replace, napalitan siya ng minute hand. And yung position ng minute hand, napalitan siya ng R hand. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung maling minute hand niya. So, tawagin natin X sub W or the wrong minute hand. So, X sub W. Okay? So, imagine na lang natin, ito yung actual minute hand. This is the actual or the real R hand. The person thought that this is the R hand and that this is the minute hand. Okay? So, therefore, we can say that the theta here is the same theta sub R. Okay? So, kung ano yung angle in between them, kung nagbaliktad lang or nag-interchange lang si minute hand and the R hand, so the angle between them will be kept the same. So, magpaparehas lang siya. If this is theta sub R din yung nandito. Now, based on the problem, it is stated that the man thought that the time is 55 minutes earlier. So, actually, yung pagtingin niya nga sa oras niya, meron siyang inakalang oras and that specific time is actually 55 minutes earlier sa actual time, or should we say, late yung kanyang relo. So, with that, we know that the proper direction ng ating clock is in clockwise direction. So, kung gusto mo makuha si 55 minutes, so 55 minutes earlier, so from this position or yung actual position ng ating real hand, minute hand, yung actual position niya, 55 minutes earlier than this minute hand, that should be rotated in counterclockwise because yung actual rotation natin is clockwise. So, kung gusto mo makuha yung earlier, edi pabalik. And we will produce a counterclockwise motion. So from this position of the real from the position of the minute hand, yung original niya in counterclockwise direction, so papunta siya dyan. So papunta siya dyan, that is at 55 minutes. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, akala niya 55 minutes earlier yung oras na inaakala niya. Yung pagtingin niya sa oras, akala niya yung oras na yun ay ganon, but that specific time is actually 55 minutes late or 55 minutes earlier sa real time. So, with that, rotate lang natin tong pwesto ni yung correct position ni minute hand, rotate natin ng counterclockwise papunta doon sa wrong position niya. And that displacement is 55 minutes or simply that is 55 minutes late. Okay, late na ito dito ng 55 minutes. So since the complete rotation or revolution ng ating clock is 60 minutes, we can say if this is 55 minutes that this portion is 5 minutes, or we can simply say that theta sub R is equal to 5 minutes. Okay? So, 5 minutes. So, looking at this figure, so, looking at this one, so we can say that X sub R, so this X sub R, and X sub W, their relationship is that X sub W, yung wrong minute hand, okay, is equal to X sub R plus this theta. Okay, so X sub W is equal to X sub R plus this theta or this 5 minutes. So, substitute lang natin. X sub W is equal to X sub R plus 5. Okay, so let's have it as equation 2. Okay, gagamitin natin yan mamaya for checking. Okay, so since we already have theta sub R, so substitute lang natin. So let's substitute. Okay, so let's substitute theta sub R, which is equal to 5 minutes. So that is 11 over 12 X sub R plus 5 minutes is equal to 10. Okay, so we have X sub R times 11 over 12 is equal to 10 minus 5. Transpose lang natin. So therefore, 11 over 12 X sub R is equal to 5. So, therefore, makukuha natin sa x sub r that is equal to 5 times 12. So, that is 60 over 11 minutes. Okay? Or, x sub r natin is equal to, kunin natin yung ating calcu. Okay? So, that is 60 over 11. So, 60 over 11 is 5.4545. Okay? So, that is 5.4545 minutes. Therefore, the time, okay, so that is 5.4545 minutes. Therefore, the time natin is actually, so yung actual time natin is 2, 5, and 27. Okay, so yan yung actual time natin. Okay, so that is our actual time. So let's say you want to check. Okay, so let's say we want to check. So, real time, so yung we can say that real time, okay, so based on the problem, ibig sabihin, real time natin is equal to yung wrong time natin plus 55 minutes. Okay? So, yung real time natin is equal to wrong time plus 55 minutes because the man thought that the time is that specific time actually yung inisip ng person is 55 minutes earlier. So, we can say that the real time is yung time na nakita ng person plus 55 minutes. Yun yung actual time natin. So, to find the real time, so let's compute this one in terms of minutes. So, in terms of minutes, so si real time natin, so with that, we can say that the real time started from 2 o'clock. So, in terms of minutes, so let's have it in minutes. So, minutes yung ating computation. So, real time natin in minutes, so that is 2 o'clock times 60 para maging minutes plus x sub r. Okay? So, yan yung ating real time. Therefore, this is, kuhanin natin. So, that is 2 times 60 then plus 60 over 11. So, ito yung ating oras. 125.4545. Okay? So, yung fraction na lang. So, 1380. So, real time natin is 1380 over 11 minutes. So, this is the real time. Okay? Then, let's have the wrong time. So, yung wrong time natin, in minutes din. Okay? So, yung wrong time natin, in minutes. So, that is equal to, so, yung wrong time natin, since looking at the figure, tingnan natin yung figure, if nagkabaliktad yung pwesto ni minute hand and the hour hand, so we can say that the man thought that the time is between 1 and 2 o'clock instead of 2 and 3 o'clock. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yung h na gagamitin natin is simply 1 para dito sa wrong time. Okay? So, with that, that will be 1 because the man thought that the time is from 1 and 2 o'clock. So, 1 times 60 plus x sub w. So, this is our wrong time. Okay? So, yung ating x sub w. So, let's solve first for x sub w. So, x sub w from equation 2, that is x sub r plus 5. So, x sub w natin, that is 60 over 11. So, that is 60 over 11, then plus 5. So 115 over 11. So we have it as 115 over 11 minutes. Okay? So that is X sub W. So for the wrong time, so yung wrong time natin, so that is 1 times 60. So that is 60 plus 115 over 11. So yung wrong time natin, okay, so the wrong time is 115 over 11 plus 60. And we have it as 775. So that is 775 over 11 minutes. Okay? So going back with our equation. So from this equation, okay, so let's call it equation 3. So let's say from equation 3, so from equation 3, so we can say that real time, so we said that real time is equal to wrong time plus 55. So real time plus wrong time equals real time equals wrong time plus 55. So we can say that the difference between the real time and the wrong time is equal to 55. So substituting, so our real time, so yung real time natin is, so the real time na na-solve natin is this one, that is 1380 over 11 minus yung wrong time natin is 775 over 11. We are going to check if that is equal to 55. Okay, so that is 1380 over 11. So pinuprove lang natin na tama yung ating analysis, minus 775 over 11 equals, so that is 55. Okay, so that is equal to 55. Okay, so therefore tama itong ating sagot. Okay, that the time is actually 2 and 5:27. Okay, so we should always note that in clock problems, we need to understand these principles, okay? That for every x minute movement of the minute hand, the hour hand moves by x over 12 minutes. That one space in the clock, yung pagitan ng mga markers natin, yung mga o'clock mark ay 5 minutes. 1 minute in the clock is equivalent to 6-degree arc. Then plus yung mga formulas na dinidiscuss natin kanina. Okay? When the minute hand is behind or when the minute hand is ahead. So these are the sets of problems that is quite common pagdating sa clock problems. So the following problems na na-present sa inyo, so these are the common. Okay? So, but the most common type is that the relationship between the clock and the angles. So, you can use yung technique natin, like in examples numbers 1 and 2. But for the succeeding, yung medyo malalim, so you can follow the solution that we have a while ago. Okay? So, that's it for our clock-related problems.